Hey, what's up? In this video, we're going to go over what are the notes in the A minor chord. I'm going to break this all the way down. By the end of this video, you're going to thoroughly understand the theory. This, of course, applies to any instrument, but we do guitar over here. But without further ado, let's just get down and let's do this. Okay, so I have on my screen here, this is the chromatic scale up top. This is the heavens. This is where everything comes from. These are all the notes in music, okay? So there's a little cloud. Now, what's happening is first we need to understand the scale, the A minor scale, where that comes from before we talk about the chord. And this is a formula. This is just what developed over years and years, centuries of how this stuff works. We're not going to get into the history of it. There's other videos on that kind of stuff. Anyways, the W equals a whole step. On your guitar, it's 2 frets. Okay. An H equals a half step or 1 fret. And so all we're going to do is play a little game and go like this. We're going to do A minor, so I'm going to start with this one, A, and then a whole step, 1, 2. Next is going to be B. This is really simple. Next is going to be a half step, boom. So C, I don't think I need, well, I guess I can keep walking you through this. Boom, D, whole step, E, half step after E, takes us to the F, whole step after F, takes us to the G, and a whole step after G takes us back to the A. All right, we just made the A minor scale. Okay, A natural minor. Okay, cool. Now, if you want to follow along, I've got a blog post on this where I get a bit more in depth with it, and it's got all like the chord diagrams and all that kind of stuff. I'll have a link in the description below. It's just go to the website, guitargpsmethod.com/chords, and then you can scroll down and go to the A minor and click the little button. There it is. Okay, but I'll have a link in the description. All right, now what happens is I'm going to number these things, and I'm going to do that in, we'll do it in green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, cool. So the formula for a minor scale is you're going to take the 1, 3, 5, this one, and that one. The notes of A minor are A, C, E. It is literally that simple. Okay. Now it doesn't matter. Let's say you have your tab right here, and you've got a chord like this, and it's 0, 1, 2, 2, 0, and we've got A, E, A, C, E. It doesn't matter if they happen multiple times. We can have multiple ones of the notes, and it just helps the chord have more depth. It also doesn't matter if we did something like this. Let me zoom in. Let's say we went like that. That is still A minor. But now what would happen is when you wrote that, it would be written like A minor / E because that was an E note. I realize I got chicken scratches here. So that's an E, C, that's an A, and then that was an E. So if the bass note, the lowest sounding note, is not the root note in this case would be the A. If that is not the most bass sounding note, it's going to be considered an inversion, or sometimes a slash chord means the same thing. This just means play an A minor chord but have the E note in the bass. Okay? I mean, technically, you could go like this. Boom, because that's an E note, and that's also part of a chord. But having those two notes, you can go ahead and try that on your guitar. It would sound kind of sucky because they both are pretty low sounding, and it just starts to sound muddy. Okay? Sweet. So that is it. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to get more into the theory next. But if you're just like, okay, cool, you follow up to this point and you're good, all right, fine. But now I'm going to throw you a little curveball. And I was going to do this earlier, but then I decided not to. Okay, so now if you know anything about music theory, there's a little problem up here. And I'm going to explain that right now. I'm trying not to give too much information because I don't want to confuse you. I'll have other videos specifically going over the difference between the major and minor. But in minor scales, it's actually flat 3, flat 6, flat 7, which would mean here it's a flat 3. Okay? So you'll need to watch my video on when I compare the like parallel majors and minors and what the difference is between like A major and A minor and how you number them. So, but just for right now, just trust me, this is what it is, because that's what it is. it's 1 flat 3 5, not 1 3 5. That would be for the major. Okay. And if you're keen, yes, A major uses notes A, C sharp, E because it hasn't been lowered, hence the flat. Okay. We'll get to that stuff later. I want to keep us focused on this. And when it comes to music theory, it's actually quite simple. It's actually way easier than the English language, by the way. English is a jacked up language. However, to really understand it, there's a whole bunch of little pieces that you have to understand. And so if we only talk about this one and don't do the other ones, you're going to have a problem. Okay. Or if you try to learn high level stuffs in one area and then don't do the other ones, you get confused. So I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible, give you a little bit of information. It's the 1 flat 3 5 in A minor. It's A, C, E, hence all the diagrams that I have up. For example, for the chords, if you want to learn how to play these chords, I'll have them up on a little link to it. So yeah, and you'll see in the diagrams A, C, E, or how that's all working. Okay, cool. So now you understand what's going on with A minor, the A minor chord. You understand where it comes from, the chromatic scale. Then we applied this formula, and then we have this chord formula. Here was scale formula. This is chord formula down here. And that's it. All right, cool. So I hope this helps, and we'll see you in a future video.